Hey everyone, welcome back to Hardt Academy. I know it's been a while since I did a last recording because we've spent so much time in class working on equations, one-step and two-step equations, and we are finally done with that. And so we are now moving on to inequalities. In class, I need every student and every parent to understand that we have taken notes about the difference between equations and inequalities. So your student should have this notes with them, and on the other side, kind of a cute picture of how to tell if you need to say greater than or less than, and also greater than or equal to or less than and equal to. So these two notes are things that are very helpful when we're solving inequalities. So in class, some of the classes I've gone over how to do one-step inequalities and graphing those, and in other classes we're up to two-step inequalities and graphing those. Okay, so first I'm going to start with the first bit of homework that I gave when I introduced the one-step inequality. So some of the students, some of you guys might be on this worksheet, so I'll do some of these, and then another video, or if I have time on this video, I will do two-step inequalities and some other sheets that I've given you for practice, okay? So remember, if I'm not doing the same exact sheet that you're working on, it follows the same process, okay? So with the beginning part of this first video about inequalities, I'm not doing any questions that require you to reverse your inequality sign. If you have no idea what I just said, that's okay. This video is for you, okay? So I'm not going to require you to flip the inequality sign. That's going to be in another video in which we are multiplying and dividing. All these questions here on this page do not require you to flip the sign, so it's going to be a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do is go straight down this row. And some of these I know we already did in class. Well, actually, I think I'll go across. I will do these four for this page of the homework, maybe 6 of them if I can, okay? So the first thing that I'm going to do with these, and I know I did this one in class, but I'm going to show you again how it's done, is that you need to get the s by itself. You need to get the variable by itself, okay? So just like solving an equation, solving an inequality works the same way. So I'm going to rewrite it up here. And this is a one-step inequality. So if I'm looking at it, to get s by itself, I need to get rid of this 8, right? So there's my street. Remember, it's not an equal sign anymore, it's an inequality sign. And I'm going to add 8 to both sides. Add 8 to both sides. There it is, okay? What happens is, I will add these together. This will give me 27, okay? 19, yep. And then this will give me, oops, I put my sign backwards. There you go. S. So what I have here is, oh, that was supposed to be 7. 27 is less than S. Okay? I'm going to rewrite that a little bit neater. So now I know, solving this one, I have 27 is less than S. Let me put that up here. 27 less than S. Okay, so first thing I do when graphing, remember the trick that I showed you in class. I'll first circle the number that I need, and then I'll look at the two numbers that are beside the number that I need. I will place those two numbers underneath the letter. So I have a 26 and I have a 28. I will read and see which statement makes sense. 27 is less than 26. Is that correct? 27 is less than 26. No, it's not. Read the next one. 27 is less than 28. Is that correct? Yes, it is. Okay? So now that I know that the 28 is actually the number that makes this a true statement, my arrow should be going in the direction of the 28. And that's how we know that any number that follows this side of the number line could be a solution for S. Remember, with inequalities, we have more than one solution. In equations, you have one definite solution. In inequalities, you have more than one solution, and that's why we graph them on the number line. All right, let's do that again. I'm going over to number 6. Let me rewrite it up here so you can see it better. I have -5 is less than -8 plus b. Okay? What I'm going to do is, there's my street, I'm going to get rid of the 8 by adding 8 to both sides. These rules are the same as your equation rules. When I have a positive and negative, I subtract. Keep the sign of the higher digit, so it's a positive 3. I'm going to keep my equality sign for now. That cancels out, and then I have a V. So I have 3 is less than V. Okay? So what I do from here is this. Make this bigger so you can see it. Now that I know that 3 is less than V, I'm going to circle where my answer is, and that's going to be the 3. So it's right here. And I'm going to look beside 3 at my 2 other answer choices. I have a 2, and I put it right underneath the letter, and I have a 4. And again, this method allows you to see what direction your arrow should be going into for a true statement. So what I do now is plug these numbers into the variable and read each statement. So this would say 3 is less than 2. Is that correct? No, it's not. 3 is less than 4. Is that correct? Yes, it is. So your arrow should be going in the direction of the 4, which is to the right. And that's how you graph. Let's move on to another. Going to number 2. So I have r plus 2 is greater than negative 9. Okay? Draw my street. To get r by itself, I need to get rid of 2. Get rid of 2. Okay? That cancels that. I'm going to leave my r greater than a negative and a negative. Please follow your integer rules. And again, your integer rules can be found on Hardt Academy. Just scroll down to the bottom, print off a set. Okay? Because if you notice on the integer rules, when you have a negative and a negative, you add them, keep the negative sign. 9, 10, 11. So my answer is r is greater than negative 11. Okay? So let me move this down so you can see the graph. First thing I need to do is circle the negative 11. Here it is. And look at the answers that are around it. I have a negative 12 and a negative 10. I'll place those underneath the variable, negative 12 and a negative 10. Hope you can read this okay. You know how hard it is to write with a mouse. Now what I need to do is read and see which statement is true. Remember, when we're in negative land, the smaller number is actually the larger number, because the smaller the negative number is, the closer it is to 0. And remember, 0 is bigger than any negative number. Remember that. Negative inequalities are the hardest ones to graph because of how negative numbers work. Well, let's read. Negative 12 is larger than negative 11. That is not true, because remember, in negative land, the smaller number is actually larger. So negative 12 is larger than negative 11, not true. Negative 10 is larger than negative 11. Remember, in negative land, the smaller number is larger. Negative 10 is larger than negative 11. That is true. So your arrow should be going in the direction of the negative 10. Negative 10 is on the right side, so your arrow should be going in the direction of the right. And what this is saying is that any one of these numbers, even past the number line, could be a good substitute solution for r. Let's go on to the next one. Number 7. Okay, so let me rewrite it up here. I have negative 10 is greater than negative 7 plus a. Okay, so remember, my job is to get a by itself, and I'm going to do that by adding 7 to both sides. I have a negative plus a positive, which means I'm going to subtract 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep the sign of the higher digit. Look at your integer rules if you're not sure why I did that. I'll keep my inequality sign. That cancels out. And now I have a. So my solution is going to be, my answer is going to be negative 3 is greater than a. Now, to get the solution, negative 3 is greater than a. What we need to do, remember, circle where your answer is. It's negative 3. Okay? Look at the digits that are beside your negative 3. I have a negative 4 and a negative 2. Substitute those for a. Negative 4 and negative 2. Well, that's a little sloppy. I think I might do that a little bit better. A negative 4, negative 2. Now, we're still in negative land. And remember, in negative land, the smaller the number is, the closer it's to 0, which means it's actually the biggest. Negative 3 is greater than negative 4. Yes, because negative 3 is the smaller of negative 4. Okay? Negative 3 is greater than negative 2. No, it's not. Okay? So your arrow should be going in the direction of the negative 4. That means it should be going towards the left. All right. So I have time to do 2 more. So I will do these 2, which means if I only gave you this page for homework, I did half of your homework. All right, so now I have negative 16 greater than or equal to. That sign means greater than or equal to 2 plus f. In order to get f by itself, I need to move this 2. A negative and a negative, we're going to add. Keep the sign. That cancels out, leaves me f. So I have negative 18 is greater than or equal to f. Put this down out of the way so you can see. So this is my answer. Oops. This is my answer to number 3. So what I will do now is circle my answer, negative 18. Now, this one is different because it says greater than or equal to. When that happens, we have to close in our circle. When it has the equal to sign, we have to close in. And what's that telling us, what's that saying, is that negative 18 can be part of the answer. When it's not closed in, what that's saying is the answer cannot be part of whatever the digit is with the inequality can't be part of your answer. I think I discussed that in class. That was a poor explanation I just gave right there, but I hope you get the idea. If not, I'm sure I'll talk about it again in another video. So, but remember, if you have the equal sign with it, greater than or equal to, you have to close in that dot on the number line, okay? That tells us that negative 18 can be part of our solution set. Okay, so now that I have negative 18 right here, I'll take a look at the numbers that I have beside it. That would be negative 19, negative 17. Plug that in for your variable, negative 19, negative 17. Let's read. Remember, we are in negative land, so the smaller number is actually going to be the bigger one. So let's read. Negative 18 is larger or equal to negative 19. That is correct, because negative 18 is smaller. Or negative 18 is larger, greater than, or equal to negative 17. Because 17 is actually bigger. So that statement would be wrong. Negative 18 is not larger than negative 17. So our arrow should be going in the direction of the 19. The 19 is on the left side. So all the answers here are possible answers to your solution set. Arrow should be going to the left. One more. Okay. Number 8. So for number 8, I have negative 8 greater than 2 plus j. All right. I'm first going to get 8 by itself. So excuse me. You can see j by itself by moving the 2. Remember, don't move the 8 or else you're unbalanced. Okay? These are 2's, not z's. My bad. A negative and a negative, I'm going to keep them together. 8, 9, 10. So I have negative 10 right here. Greater than j. So now let's graph. Negative 10 greater than j. First, I'm going to find my negative 10, which is right here. So this is one where your circle is not filled in because it didn't have that equal to sign at the bottom. Okay? But now I'm going to look at the 2 numbers that I have beside negative 10, which is a negative 11 and a negative 9. So now I'm going to read to see which statement makes sense. Sorry about the sloppiness. It's hard to write with a mouse. So remember, we're in negative land, so the smaller number is actually going to be the larger one. So when we do this, this is how it's going to work. So we're going to, I forgot what I was doing. I had to pause the video. What am I doing? Oh, right. Okay. So which way is it going to go? So I plugged in negative 11, I plugged in negative 9, and I'm going to read. Remember, in negative land, the smaller number is actually bigger. Think about O in the bank. Who would you rather owe the bank? Negative 10 or negative 11? You'd rather owe negative 10, of course. Negative 10 is bigger than negative 11. That is true. Or negative 10 is greater than negative 9. That's not true, because I'd rather owe that 9. So our answer should be going in the direction of the 11, which is towards the left. So that's the it for one-step inequalities on how to solve and how to graph. Hope that helped out. You know you can do the rest on your own. And if you have any questions, just email me, and I'll see you tomorrow. The next video will be 2-step inequalities.